Every 4 years, the world watches an athlete step onto a podium. A ribbon is placed around their neck, a medal rests against their chest, and almost everyone assumes it is solid gold. It isn't. The 2026 Olympic gold medal carries a melt value of roughly $2,300, the highest raw material value in modern Olympic history, and yet it contains just 6 grams of gold. So what is it really made of? Why has its value surged so dramatically? And why, within hours of being awarded, did several medals begin to fall apart? Not symbolically, physically. This is the story of what the 2026 Olympic gold medal actually is, what it is actually worth, and why, for some athletes, it did not survive the celebration. To understand its value, you first have to understand its structure. The medal was produced in Rome by the Italian State Mint, an institution that has crafted currency and official state objects for nearly a century. Quiet, precise, institutional. The medal carries an official name, 2 halves. The meaning is literal. One side is smooth, polished, reflective. The other is textured, granular, almost like compacted alpine snow. One half represents Milan, modern, urban, refined. The other represents Cortina, alpine, historic, elemental. 2 cities, 1 object. Now, the material. The medal weighs approximately 500 grams, just over a pound, heavy enough to feel significant in the hand, but nearly all of that weight comes from one metal, silver, approximately 494 grams, minimum purity, 92.5%, sterling standard. The gold, just 6 grams, 6 grams of gold plating, applied to meet International Olympic Committee requirements. For perspective, many wedding bands contain 3 to 5 grams of gold. The most prestigious prize in world sport contains roughly the same amount of gold as a modest ring. That is not criticism. It is policy. And it has been policy since 1912, the last Olympic Games where medals were made from solid gold. So how did a medal that is 99% silver become the most valuable in history? Timing. Metal prices move. They respond to pressure. In early 2026, that pressure reached historic levels. Gold is trading at approximately $5,070 per troy ounce, a record high. 6 grams of gold translates to roughly $960 in melt value. But gold is only part of the story. Silver has surged dramatically, trading near $88 per ounce. Silver is no longer just precious. It is industrial. Solar panels, electric vehicles, medical technology, electronics. Demand has climbed. Supply has tightened. The 494 grams of silver inside this medal, approximately 15.8 troy ounces, now carry a melt value of roughly $1,390. Add the gold, add the silver. The total melt value reaches approximately $2,300, sometimes closer to $2,500, depending on market fluctuations. Not because the medal is extravagant, because commodity markets surged at the precise moment it was minted. It is not luxury that made it expensive. It is economics. To understand how unusual this is, look backwards. Paris 2024, approximately $950. Beijing 2022, around $750. London 2012, roughly $700. For decades, Olympic medals carried modest material value relative to their symbolism. The 2026 medal breaks that pattern, but there is one exception. Stockholm, 1912. The last games where medals were solid gold. At today's prices, one of those medals would carry a melt value exceeding $40,000. After 1912, the practice ended. Solid gold became impractical. Gold plating became the standard. What makes 2026 remarkable is not that it returned to solid gold. It didn't. What makes it remarkable is that market forces alone elevated a silver-based medal to record value. That is not exaggeration. It is arithmetic. And then, something unexpected happened. On the day Breezy Johnson won gold in alpine skiing, she celebrated, she jumped, she embraced her team, and the medal detached. It fell. The failure occurred at the clasp, the small loop connecting ribbon to metal. She later said, "I was jumping up and down, then it just fell off." She was not alone. Justus Strehler reported a similar issue. Alisa Liu experienced the same failure. Organizers described it as a safety feature, a deliberate breakaway mechanism, designed to prevent injury. It is a logical explanation, but perception matters. When a medal worth over $2,000 separates within hours, engineering rationale feels secondary. The investigation continues. For now, the irony remains. The most expensive medal in Olympic history could not survive the celebration. There is another detail. The silver inside these medals is recycled, recovered from electronic waste, circuit boards, discarded devices, a second life for materials once powering the digital world. This approach follows Tokyo 2020. The silver was processed using renewable energy in Rome. The environmental credentials are real, a medal built from reclaimed technology, valuable not only because of markets, but because of materials repurposed. And yet, that same medal now carries a narrative partly defined by mechanical failure. Two halves, two textures, two cities, unified in one object. Whether it stays unified during celebration is another question.
Strip away the markets. Strip away the controversy. What remains? A small disc of silver, a thin layer of gold. Material value, roughly $2,300. Symbolic value, immeasurable. Athletes train for years, sometimes decades, for the chance to hold this object. The clasp can be repaired, the ribbon can be replaced, but the performance that earned it cannot be undone. Perhaps that is the deeper truth. The 2026 gold medal is not remarkable, not because of 6 grams of gold. It is remarkable because of what it represents, something that cannot be priced, and no commodity market can inflate that.